The Vancouver Canucks make a ridiculous trade as Patrik Allvin moves out fan favorite Dakota Joshua to the Eastern Conference, and the return has fans livid. We're going to break down everything you need to know on this trade, the return the Vancouver Canucks got, and what Patrik Allvin said on the trade, plus so much more later on this episode. Before we get into it, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone. We reach our goal of 8,000 subscribers, and we would not be this far covering the Canucks if it wasn't from you guys. So I just want to give a huge shout out. Thank you for the support, and sincerely, it's incredible to see how much you guys have been enjoying and watching this content. We're not slowing down anytime soon. But with that, let's just get straight into this because everyone clicked on this video for a reason, and we did see the Vancouver Canucks did make a trade today, and it was trading Dakota Joshua, fan favorite, to the Toronto Maple Leafs in return for a 2028 fourth round selection. Now, this feels very underwhelming, and I think every aspect, when looking at it, it is a little underwhelming, but the cap space does make things better. Now, Patrik Allvin did speak on this after the trade, and he went out to say Dakota went through a lot last season before the year even started, and we were very impressed in how he handled such a difficult off-ice situation. Once healthy, he tried hard to help the team in many ways, and we went to wish him the best moving forward in Toronto. Now, Patrik Allvin moving out cap space was something that a lot of people seen coming, but it doesn't feel real moving on from what is not only a fan favorite, but such a high impact player on this Vancouver Canucks team from the end of last season and 2 years ago going into the playoffs. Now, moving this out, it does clear up cap space, and that's what Patrik Allvin and Jim Rutherford has been trying to do. Now, we're going to get into the implications in the lineup and the return, plus some other things later on. But looking at the cap space, this does clear up a decent bit of room for the Canucks to go out and sign a UFA, make a trade for a second line center, or continue adding new faces to this lineup having cap flexibility. With this, they do have $4.045 million in cap space going into next offseason. The cap's raising up, so this is going to keep going up and up as the year goes on, or should say the years go on. So having this cap space, it gets very interesting. The Canucks are definitely cooking up something else. They do not move out a player that scored 20 goals just 2 seasons ago with nothing in mind coming up. Now, Thomas Drance did put this report out a couple days ago where we did see the Canucks management is not off to the cottage just yet. Here the club is monitoring a couple of the UFA options still on the market. No surprise given the recent history. Vancouver needs to move out cap space first. They're actively working to do so, and this became true because we've seen Dakota Joshua moved out just a few minutes ago in a trade. Now, going into this, like Jeff Patterson says here, going to be remembered of the 2025 as the summer of the 4th round picks. We've seen Shilov's traded for a 4th round pick, and Stillman, you get a prospect back in return, but that is more value than the Canucks got for Dakota Joshua, a legitimate middle 6 player in the National Hockey League for a goaltender that is very good, but also someone that has not cracked a full-time lineup with the Vancouver Canucks, so the value still does not feel here. Yes, you get free up cap space, but still a 4th round selection as the only return is a little confusion. Now, going in, the Canucks are hoarding right now 4th round picks. 2027, they have 3, Chicago, Pittsburgh themselves. 2028, they have their own, and Toronto's. Now with this, you do have 5 draft picks in the 4th round. You could put all 4 of these into a package if you wanted to, but the Canucks are adding draft capital while moving out and freeing cap space, which in a vacuum is very good, but still not what fans want to see when they're looking to get better, but moving out proven players within this lineup. So Allvin and Rutherford should and better have something up their sleeve going in even further. Now, replacing Dakota Joshua is a big question mark, and the Canucks are going to have to figure out a way to do this. Now, before we get into the lineup, you're moving on from someone that put up 14 points last year in 57 games. We know the health issues he went through. We wish him the best, but the Canucks needed to move on from Dakota Joshua to open up more roster spots. The year previous, 18 goals, 32 points, not 20 goals, but near on it. Dakota Joshua is an absolute force, and this Canucks team is going to miss him quite a bit. And honestly, I was very excited to see Evander Kane and Dakota Joshua playing next to each other because you'd get hit by one guy just to turn around and get ran by the next. This could have been the Bash Bros of the Mighty Ducks on the Canucks, but it seems like they're moving on. And yes, Kiefer Sherwood can still do this as well, but it would have been awesome to have these impact players in the bottom 6 making an impact together. Now, it does get right into the lineup of what are the Canucks going to do with this open spot. First, you could go out, trade for a center, Hedl slides down, someone goes to the wing. That is probably one of the more unrealistic, but hopefully answers for this Canucks team. But if you're looking at this lineup, we know Niels Höglander, Pettersson, Brock Boeser could be formed as this top line. Jake DeBrusk, Filip Hronek, and Conor Garland if Hedl is not slid to the wing, but you do have open spaces. Yes, Kiefer Sherwood gets a bigger chance within this lineup. Maybe Jonathan Lekkerimäki jumps in. Linus Karlsson is a name. Teddy Bluger down on the fourth. This Canucks team, it's going to get very interesting. It's going to get interesting in the sense, are they going to go out and get a Jack Roslovic type that had scored just 20 goals last season with the Carolina Hurricanes going in, making the Eastern Conference Finals? Yes, scratched a bit, but he is an impact player the Canucks could actively look at, and if you get him for a lower cap hit than Dakota Joshua's, I believe, 3.25, that was moved out. This is saving you some cap room in the long run. They could go out and try to get a guy like Victor Olofsson, a guy that scored 15 goals last year for Vegas. I think it is. I'm running these numbers off my head from looking earlier. But this is a lineup that lacks goal scoring in the depth. Yes, Evander Kane had scored 20 goals 2 seasons ago. He was injured for most of last year. Going into the playoffs to actually put up good numbers, he can have a bounce back here and put up 20 goals. Kiefer Sherwood, who was pretty spot on with almost scoring 20 as well, is another name that's in this that can score. But they need some playmaking within this bottom six to continue producing. We know Atu Ratu can play make a bit. He can also score goals. We've seen it with the Canucks. But I do wonder what they're going to do with this now that Dakota Joshua is gone. Patrik Allvin packed the bags and cleared up the cap space. We're losing a fan favorite, but fans, it really comes down to, yes, losing Dakota Joshua sucks. We get a 4th round pick in return. This does not feel good enough in return for a player, an impactful player within this Canucks team that was loved by the team from all accounts. What we're looking at right now is a bit of an overhaul. They're doing an identity change. It kind of feels like Evander Kane coming in gives a new edge to this team in the grit, the grind, goal scoring, everything in between. It's interesting to see what Allvin and Jim are cooking up because there's going to be another trade or another move. They're going to sign one. This is not a move you make just to clear up cap space, go into next year with the open space, and twiddle your thumbs. This is a move that is lining up for something bigger, or at least multiple things that lead up to something big. What's your guys' thoughts on this? What is your thoughts on the trade? This feels like a trade that's very weird, and I'm not sure if I love the return. Yes, the cap space is nice, but once again, what does that really matter if you miss the playoffs and have that extra dollars laying around? If we see the Canucks ownership wanting to save money, sure, whatever. But this is a team that wants to get back in the hunt, continue to hunt, and eventually bring a cup back. We've seen Abbotsford do it. Let's start the domino effect and get a cup in Vancouver with the Canucks. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. If there's anything you want me or Griffin to cover in a video, go down and let us know down in the comments. We love reading through it, and we love getting ideas from you guys and covering stuff that you guys want to hear as well. But that'd be it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Once again, thank you so much for 8,000 subscribers. Seriously, guys, I'm just a guy from Newfoundland covering my favorite hockey team in the Vancouver Canucks. I'm actually going to fly up to Vancouver and hopefully meet some of you guys because I love to see everyone that's watching this enjoying the content. So if you're going to a game, go down and put a comment on what game you're going to see. Maybe I'll make an appearance and just meet some of you guys. I love to chat hockey. But that'd be it for this episode. Take care, Canucks fans.